Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video I showed how to draft this road collar fitted gown. Please, if this is something you like, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like and share. So I've gone ahead to mark out the horizontal measurements, which are the shoulder line, the chest line, the bust point line, the under bust, the waistline, the hip line and the hem line. The total length of this pattern paper is what I'll be working with, but for yours, according to the video, is longer than that, so you can use the length, your preferred length. Now I'm going to be placing the shoulder measurement divided by 2, placing it on the shoulder line and on the chest line. So I'm going to be ruling a straight line across, just as you can see. So the neck width I am working with is 3.5 inches and I went down by 4.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the line, just as you can see. So next thing is I'll use 1 inch for shoulder slope. So I'm going to go ahead and connect it, just as you can see. So I'm just going to get the midpoint, but I usually go up by 3.5. Then I'll come in by half an inch. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the lines, just as you can see. This is the arm cycle. So next thing is to be placing the nipple to nipple measurement. That's the bust span. So what I have divided by 2, I'm going to mark it there. So I'm going to be ruling a straight line across, just as you can see. So before that, the dart intake is 0.75 inch on both sides. So before I mark that, I'm going to mark 1 inch down, like below the bust point. So this is because you will not be sewing directly on your bust point by the time you are taking the dart. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect the lines, just as you can see. So next I'm going to be placing the bust measurement. Bust divided by 4, waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1.5 dart intake. Then the hip divided by 4, I'm going to be placing it. So on the hem line, so what I used hip divided by 4 minus 1 inch. You can use minus 1.5 inch depending on how tight you want it to be at the bottom part of your dress. So now I'm just going to go ahead and connect the lines, just as you can see. So the next thing now we're going to do is the difference between the front and back waistline is 1 inches. So I'm going to take the bust dart here. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the lines, just as you can see. So now I want to explain something. So I'm going to go in by 1 inch. This is because you don't want to sew directly on the bust point. By the time you are sewing, you shouldn't be sewing directly on the bust point. So that's why I'm saying you have to go in by 1 inch. Because if you sew directly on the bust point, it'll be looking funny. Same way I went down by 1 inch for the front dart, just like that, so that you won't be sewing directly on the bust point. So now we are going to get the midpoint of the shoulder. So we are going to go ahead and connect it like this. So now we're just going to try to eliminate the excess around the shoulder. I'm going to be slashing it open. So before that, I'll make sure that I close the bust dart, just as you can see. So I'm just going to take my scissors and open up the shoulder like this. Just for us to eliminate excess there. I'm going to open it up to the bust point. So I'm also going to cut the side like this so that the pattern paper can relax properly. So the next thing now is I'm going to take my tape rule. That place that is open, now I'm going to mark what I have there. I have 1.5 inches, so I'm going to divide it into 2. I'm going to mark 0.75 inward and outward, just as you can see. So now I'm going to go ahead and open up the bust dart. I'm going to use my scissors to slash it open so that I'll be able to close up the shoulder dart with the new measurement that I marked. So now this is it. So I'm just going to close it up to that point that I marked at first. Then I'm going to use my paper tape to hold it down, just as you can see. So next thing is for me to reconnect the new shoulder line to that point that I marked in front. So I'm also going to connect it back to the shoulder, to the armhole, the midpoint of the armhole. So that is the new shoulder that we have. So next thing, I'm just going to take a piece of paper and put it underneath to close the opening around the bust dart, just as you can see. So this is basically what we have for the front pattern. So now we are going to move on to the back pattern. The back pattern, I've gone ahead to place the horizontal measurement, the shoulder line, chest line, waistline, hip line, and the hem line. That's length of the length of the dress that we are working with. So I've gone ahead to mark it. So now on the waistline, I'm going to mark 0.75 inward. This is to eliminate bulging at the back when you put your zipper. So now I'm just going to go ahead and connect the lines like this up to the hip line, just as you can see. So the next thing, I'm going to be placing the shoulder measurements on the shoulder line and on the chest line, just as you can see. Then I'm going to be rolling a straight line across. So the neck width that we're working with is 3.5 inches. Then I'm going to mark 1 inch for shoulder slope, 1 inch for shoulder slope. So the next thing now is I'm going to get the midpoint or go up by 3.5 inch for the shoulder to get the arm side. So I went in by half an inch, just like the way I did in front. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the line, just as you can see. I'm going to be placing the dart measurement, the nipple to nipple. So I'm going to take it plus that 0.5 inches that I mark. I'm going to add it together. So whatever I have, I'm just going to mark it across, just as you can see, so that the lines will be on a straight line to be accordingly. So the dart intake on both sides is 0.75. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the lines, just as you can see. I also connect it like this. I'm going to be placing the bust measurement like this, the waist measurement plus the 1.5 dart intake that I took. So I'm also going to be placing the hip measurements as well. So the hip measurements divided by 4 minus 1 is what I put on the hem line, just the way I did in front. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect the lines, just as you can see. Go ahead and connect it. So around the waistline, we are going to eliminate some excess too. So you are going to mark 0.5 inch up and downward on the waistline. So you are just going to connect the lines like this. This is just like eliminate excess around the waistline. So this is what we have. Let's move to the neckline at the back. So because it's slanted at the back, so I'm just going to mark it up to the chest line that I have. I'm just going to roll a slanted line like this, just as you can see. So next now, to eliminate it from gaping at the back, I'm just going to roll a straight line and do 0.25 on both sides. I'm just going to close that place up. By the time I'm cutting, I'll show you how to go about that. So this is what we have for the front and back pattern. So now to give it a little bit of tightening around the waistline, to cinch it a bit, I mark 0.5 around the waistline on both sides, that is the front and the back. Then I'm just going to reconnect the lines, just as you can see. So I'm also going to connect the back as well. So it's 0.5 for waist cinching, just to give a fitting at the waistline. So this is what we have. I'm going to go ahead and cut out the pattern paper. So if you don't want it to have joining around the waistline, you can just cut your pattern straight out. But I want it to have joining around the waistline. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the pattern paper. So before cutting it, make sure that you close your bust dart and make sure that you reconnect the line. What we did at the back of the waistline. So if you are cutting your pattern straight up, like you don't want to have a join around the waistline, just close it up. But if you are going to be cutting it, you are going to be having join around the waistline, you are going to cut that place out. So this is what we have. So this is me cutting it out, just as you can see. You cut it out. So this is the back pattern I'm actually cutting. So now on this place, the back, the neckline, I'm going to close it up. This is just to eliminate the neckline at the back from bulging. So I'm going to take my ruler and reconnect the lines, just as you can see. Because if you don't reconnect the lines, it should give you a funny shape. So I'm going to go ahead and reconnect the lines. I'm going to use my paper tape to hold it down. Then I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to cut the new line that I have. I'm going to cut it out, just as you can see. So this is the back. This is what we have. So now I'll move to the bottom part of the front pattern. So I'm going to close this up just to eliminate smile line in front of it. So I'm just going to mark 0.75. So this is I'm closing it up. Use your paper tape to hold it down. So I'm just going to rule a slant line like this. So I'm just going to cut up that place. This is just to eliminate smile line in front of your pattern. So this is what we have. Now you are going to take the front pattern, the upper part of the front and back pattern like this. You are going to join the shoulder together. Use your paper tape to hold it down, because we want to now get the measurement of the collar. So you are just going to hold it down like this. You are going to hold it down like this. Next thing, that you are going to take your tape rule and measure what you have from where the slanted lines stop to the center front of the neckline like this. So what I have there is 15 inches. What I have is 15 inches. Then now you are going to get a new pattern paper to cut out the road collar. So I'm just going to rule a straight line like this as the starting point of what I have. So you're also going to determine the width of what you want. So the width I decided to work with, I used 5 inches or 5.5 inches, depending on how much of the width that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the width across just like this. Then I'm going to take my ruler, then rule a straight line, just as you can see. Now I'm going to mark the measurement. The length is 15 inches. I'm going to mark it up and down. So make sure that whatever you are cutting is going to be on fold. You cut on fold and let it be in bias form. Cut on fold and in bias form. So I've marked the 15 inches length. I've ruled a straight line. So remember that it has this sharp effect around the bottom part at the back. So I extended the length by 3.5 inches or 3 inches, depending on how much you want it to be. So you go ahead and connect the line. So the upper part of that place is what you are going to be joining to the neckline. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out like this. Please remember that you are going to be cutting on fold, and you are also going to be cutting it in bias form. This is for you to give it a stretchy effect. So this is what you are going to be having for the road collar. So I'm just going to place it like this. So this is what it's going to look like. This is what it's going to look like by the time you join it with your fabric and all. So this is what we have for the front and back pattern. Please, if this is something you like, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like and share.